Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and this is a little game called Beggar's Road. Now, I haven't been able to record for a few days now recently, and I fancied a little bit of a palate cleanser. So I picked up a few new games. Well, two of them are new, the others are new to me, but not necessarily new. So this is just something to dip into, play a session or two, and have a bit of fun before things settle down and I'm able to get back to recording my usual content. Let's dip in then. So, I'm going into this pretty much blind. I've generally avoided knowing too much about the game. I've been aware of it for a little while now. It came out Tuesday, so about half a week ago, given that it's now Friday night. And I have generally avoided anything that wasn't publicly available on the store page. I haven't even watched a video, intro video. It's my understanding there was a demo, but I avoided grabbing it. I have briefly looked at the forums because I saw someone asking a question about something that might have been a bug and getting a response from the developers. And this game has already had like a day 1 or day 2 patch. It's not early access, so we're theoretically getting the finished product here. I'm seeing these horizontal lines across. If I move the mouse away, if you look at the flames to the left of the mouse, you can see horizontal lines across it as if this is on lined paper overlaid on top of the image. It's my understanding this is a fairly narrative game, but with a combat system. Describes itself as a roguelike, set in the bishopric of Liege. Now, I'm aware that Liege is spelt exactly like Liege, but Liege is a completely different word. So, Liege refers to a lord who has rulership or ownership over you. So, for instance, if I was to address a nobleman as my lord, I would be acknowledging the fact that he is a lord, a noble, with a position of power and authority. However, if I were to refer to a nobleman as my liege lord, then he would be a nobleman who has power and authority directly over me and the province in which I live. Whereas any other lord is responsible for somewhere else, essentially. Whereas Liege was a medieval, I suppose we could call it a kingdom, essentially. I think it's basically where Holland is now, or sort of northern France, southern Holland, where Belgium is, that sort of region. And I believe this is, while gritty and grim, doesn't necessarily have a magic system, although there's magic traditions and there might be a few sort of holy relics that give characters a minor bonus. But that's about as magical as it's going to get. We play a small bunch of beggars on the move without home, trundling around the land, trying to get by. There'll be lots of random events and choices to make, lots of choice-based outcomes, which are often not necessarily very good. And, there is a combat system. The thing I've seen on the forums is that someone was asking if it was impossible to change equipment for combat, and they were told you can change equipment at sort of resting nodes or towns, or essentially just not during travel. We have a little bit of information on how to play. The year of our Lord, 1407. A Beggar's Road. Liege is a city at war with itself. The bishop holds his throne by Burgundian grace, not decree. I'll just start that one again, shall I? Liege is a city at war with itself. The bishop holds his throne by Burgundian grace. The guilds and the commune want him gone. You are nobody yet. Walk the roads, stay fed, and make something of yourself before the winter ends you. Your food is counted at the top of the screen. Every day spent travelling, working or resting costs 1 ration for each person in your party. Let it reach 0 and your people starve. The hungry stop healing and soon they die. Buy more in the town markets before the packs run dry. Deniers sit just beside your food on the bar. Honest work earns a small, safe wage. Markets sell food, weapons and armour, but the heavy load slows you, so carry only what your strength allows. You will never have enough, so spend with care. I interpret that as you will never be able to carry enough, not you will never possess enough available to you, or that your strength will not allow you to carry it all, you know. The bar also tracks the size of your party. In the taverns, you can buy a drink and take on companions. More blades win more fights, but every soul you recruit is another mouth to feed. Keep only those you can keep alive. 2 bars on the HUD measure your name. Honour is your conscience. Theft, robbery and murder pay well, but drag it down and cruelty is not soon forgotten. Renown is your fame, how far your name has carried. Coin is spent, a reputation is carried to the grave. 3 powers split Liege, the loyalists for the bishop, the commune for the guilds, the outlaws for no one but themselves. Favour one, and you will anger another. Make your coin, build your name, choose a side for none, choose a side or none, and see how far the road carries you. It is waiting. Well, this is my first try. I'm not expecting to do well. I'm going to have a bit of fun, record for a while tonight, and then just upload this and see you guys enjoy it. And then hopefully the regular games will be back soon. And if this is fun, it might slip in every now and again. We'll see. It's literally the same 6-point tutorial, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we have Josse the Hungry. He's wounded. He's got a sword of 1. Strength is sword. Shield is toughness. Wit for the quill. Luck is that? Yes. Green boosted by a special item. Well, we don't have a green. Old wound. Begins each run wounded. Oh, great. So, I don't know if we have a main character, or if, as long as the company's still going, with people in it, it continues to go. Factions. All factions are neutral. We have nothing inventory but weight 1 of 5, implying we're carrying something. What do we have here? We have a stick, which gives us +1 to attack. Attack is not one of these stats, so it's separate. Okay, so it's day 1. We have 4 provisions, 20 deniers, party size is 1, honour, renown, journal. Nothing here yet. Okay, find your feet. We need to try to earn 100 deniers, become known to a faction, and win a battle. That will probably be easier if we are not alone. So we appear to be here. The outskirts. Mud, cook fires, and desperate people huddled in lean-tos against the city walls. It smells of wood smoke and poverty. This is where Liege puts the people it does not want to think about. We can camp here for free, but we might also be able to gain an additional member for our company. Let us enter this location. A dog barks down the street, then thinks better of it. We can go to the shanty camp, the city gate, scavenge for refuge heaps. Scavenging we might get a little something that could help us. If we go to the shanty camp, we might be able to get someone who can help us scavenge. But maybe if we scavenge something, it'll be easier to persuade them to join us. We say, look what we got. Let's go see. And also, if we scavenge alone, we don't have to share with anyone. We don't have to distrust our fellow party members. Let's go to the shanty camp and see if we can find someone to help our wounded fellow. A sprawl of lean-tos and cook fires. Desperate people with nothing to lose, which makes them either generous or dangerous. Old Sana. The outlaws. Contact. A weathered woman who has buried more people than most have met. She runs the camp with quiet authority and trades in information, favours and fear. She's stranger, none of two known. Maybe she could get to know us. This is tracking how well she knows us, not how well we know her, I suspect, but it could go both ways. Old Sana sizes you up and says little. Rooks don't trust a clean name or a full purse. Side with the forest when the road forces a choice. Do their work, and a round bought in the usual tavern loosens tongues. Earn it, and they'll talk. We could beg from the desperate. No, we'll go back. We can go to the city gate. I presume we need to do that if we want to enter the city anyway. The guards here decide who gets in and who does not. Bribes help. Looking respectable helps more. Let's buy some information from the guards for 10 days. No, that's half our money. No. That's a lot. Let's leave the outskirts. Can we enter the city itself? Probably not. Narrow streets choked with guild banners, the clang of hammers and shouting in free languages. The market square heaves with merchants, beggars, and the bishop's guards keeping a lazy eye on everyone. Everything costs too much. We could travel here. Asking me one of our 4 food. Okay. The Meuse River, we can't click on that. Farmlands. No path from here. So we go to Liege or we buy information from the guards first. Given that that's going to cost 10 of our 20 deniers and we're trying to get to 100, we're probably going to have to spend some of our money to get even close to that 100. Let's attempt to travel to the city. A widow drags a goose on a cord and insists the bird saw who stole her firewood. She points at her neighbour's cottage. The goose hisses at the guilty man by name. She says, the goose hisses at you too. Am I truly being appealed to for authority here? I'm a nobody. This woman's got to be pretty angry and desperate to try and get me to try and reinforce her situation. Hear out both sides and settle it. Side of the widow and threaten the neighbour. Steal the goose while they argue. Well, hey, let's hear out both sides. See if we can be reasonable here. Your ruling pleases no one. The goose lunges, the widow swears, and the neighbour drives you off with a stick. Oh, we're going to get even more beaten? We do appear to be... Is there a way we can open the party panel here? It doesn't seem to be. Unless... Nope, we can't do it from a journal either. Okay. Smoke rises from a baker's chimney. The day smells of bread and rot. We haven't lost our food yet. Let's go to the tavern. See if we can obtain a second miserable downtrodden sod. This artwork looks like cracked old oil paintings, but it does look a little like it may be AI generated. I have no idea. Okay. Pierre is short with one of his serving boys. The boy doesn't argue. Is class for serving boy? Big Pierre, the barkeeper. Okay, well, Gertrude. Not Gertrude, the barmaid. Okay, well let's meet some of these people. This looks like a barmaid as well. Marie. A young woman in a stained apron is carrying 3 tankards in 2 hands. She catches you watching and gives you a half smile that could mean anything. Pierre says I should ignore strangers. I ignore Pierre. Oh, really? Let's keep talking. Watch the man in the corner. He's been crying into his cup since Vespers. Sounds like we should go talk to him, but first, what's the news, fair lady? A merchant in Maastricht docks was killed and his cargo was not untouched. Nobody is asking why. Try your luck. I think I know what this is implying. I also think we got no chance. So we'll leave her be for now. Oh, and she's greyed out, we can't interact again. Look for recruits. How about Old Tice? An old man with a face like cracked leather sits alone near the hearth, working on a tankard so slowly it might be empty. A long-bladed knife is on the table where his right hand can find it. 38 years a soldier and I'm afraid of a draught from a window. Funny. I will ask her the news. There's a man in Voice asking after a man named Renaud. Brother of Gilsman, supposedly. Well, let's talk a bit more. Nope, he had nothing more to say. We'll look for recruits. You scan the room for anyone willing to travel for a coin. 2 people in this room are looking your way. Yolande the liar, a beggar. She says, I'll follow anyone who feeds me. That's not loyalty, that's hunger. Same results though. She's got big stats. 2 2s, a 3 and a 4. Whereas Renier, the quiet beggar, Renier the quiet, who's also a beggar, I'll follow anyone. Same quote, exact same quote. He has 1 less luck, but is otherwise okay. They're both desperate. But are we talking 1 person a day there for the food? Now we have a liar. Maybe we shouldn't take on more mouths than we can feed. Klaus? A young man with ink-stained fingers and a slightly too clean tunic sits alone with a small cup of wine. He's reading something he keeps tucked under his hand when others walk past. In 1407, this man can read. He's rich. Or he's a priest. You're not a guildsman, I can tell. Don't worry, it's not an insult. We'll ask for news. A merchant in Maastricht docks was killed and his cargo was untouched. Nobody is asking why. We'll keep talking. Nope, apparently we won't. Who's this Aladis? Well, she's a lady, obviously. A woman in dark blue Flemish wool sits at a small table by herself, eating slowly. She is too well dressed for Le Coq Rouge and seems to know it and not care. You drink alone too. We could drink alone together if you like. What's the news, fair lady? The cathedral provost has been ill for a week. The novices are praying. Loudly. Let's keep talking. Oh, try our luck. We got healing. That's great. Let's back out of this place. And we probably want to go to the market and get a little more food. Oh. 1 for 5. 5 for 18. That's a good deal, but we might want to spend our money on something else. We've also gained a new person. I see how this is going to go. Let's buy a club. And then a little bit of food. Then we're done here. Let's not go get mugged in the back alleys. We've barely got anything as it is. We should depart from Liege. Can we now? Oh goodness, she's got a... equip the club. You never think about just stopping, finding a nice ditch? What, to lie down dead in? She's a brawler, which means +2 in combat when fighting barehanded. Oh, and we bought her a club. Oh well, the club gives +1 attack, so she's actually better off without it. However, the stick is +1 attack, so same as the club. And his old wound begins each run. Great. Lovely. Okay, heard you, lady. Where do we want to go? The farmlands, of course. Let's go bother people there and be homeless vagrants and vagabonds. Rolling fields stretch toward the river under a grey sky. Farmers eye you with suspicion. You're either here to work or here to steal, and they have made up their mind already. Oh, okay. Outskirts is... yeah, everywhere is 2 food now. Because we... oh, we could go to Vice. We heard about this place. Something dodgy happened here recently. A small river town clinging to the banks of the Meuse. The bridge here is the crossing point for merchants heading north to Maastricht, where, many years later, some evil bastard called John Major will sneak off and sign a treaty he should never have touched. The traitor. The toll collector is bored and corrupt. Everyone passing through has a story or a secret. Well, we're wanting to... let's just go here anyway. This is going to be so dumb. We could go to the abandoned monastery and get really messed up. 2 men in decent wool with cudgels at their belts stand beside a wagon track marked with fresh chalk. They claim a new road maintenance fee. There's no maintenance in sight. Their boots are city boots. We don't have the money. We could try and sneak through the bushes around them. Let's ask if they have a written charter. It's 1407. We're mostly illiterate. Yep, it's a fight. Intimidate, strength check, wound 1 enemy. Do we know who is there? Well, we can try. We've intimidated him and bashed him when he was backing down. Next. Ah, a glancing blow. Okay. We're alright. Just got skimmed. That is not so good. The guild collector catches Jossa the Hungry across the arm. The wound is real. We could run away or fight on. I mean... fight on. Let's try and bash this one. He's badly hurt. The guild collector takes a blow that would fell a horse. Excellent. Okay, lady. Batter the man. Good. A glancing blow. Yolande the liar shrugs it off. It's almost like she says, that couldn't even hurt me. In which case, we will fight on. Don't know why we get to select a target now, given that there's only one to choose from. Slammed him across the arm. Great stuff. Lady, can you finish him off? You certainly can. So it looks like it's just wounded, critically wounded, dead. Although there may be a few more layers to it. Armor will probably reduce. So if we say these weapons do 1 damage, which is why wounding him first, getting him down to wounded, then hitting him again to critically wounded, then if these did 2 damage, it would theoretically go straight to critically wounded. Armor would then reduce that by 1 if there was armor, so it may be something that simple. We got 19 deniers, which we will definitely need. And we can take these clubs and hopefully sell them. The tollkeeper is at his post, as he has been for 42 years. Oh, he's an old tollkeeper. Let's go to the Riverside Tavern first before Fish Market. Thomas is 2 cups deeper than his wise and has just stood up on his bench. To my friends, and to... He gestures broadly in your direction. This one who is the best of us all. We could stand up and toast back warmly, or pull him down quietly so he doesn't make a fool of himself, because all his mates are going to go, why are you calling this nobody better than all the rest of us? Or is it pull him down to mug him? We'll toast him back. We'll show a little bit of camaraderie. You stand and raise your cup. The whole tavern cheers. Brun rolls his eyes from the bar, but is smiling. Thomas climbs down and falls into your lap and is asleep within 5 minutes, whoever the hell he is. The bench is comfortable. You don't move. And there's Thomas. Well, he's obviously unconscious at the moment. Father Brun, the innkeeper. Oh, is a priest? Godfrey. A wiry old man who looks a little bit like a couple of actors. Oh, what's his name? Northern chap from Paul Copley. That's him. Where's he from? Lancashire, I think. A wiry old man with a heron's stoop sits in the corner watching the room. He has the look of a man who is paid to watch things. I have kept the toll at the Vice Bridge for 31 years. I've seen every man and woman who has crossed it in that time. Not 42 years. Maybe there's more than one tollkeeper. Well then, what's the news? The heron that lives under the bridge has been gone for 3 weeks. Some say the bridge will fall. Okay, anything else he wants to talk about? No. Let's look for recruits, which is highly dangerous given our food situation. Hubert the Muddy, a merchant, requires 187 deniers to recruit. I was robbed 3 days ago. Everything. I have expertise and no inventory. Interested? Well, yeah, but we can't afford it. Sister Matilda. A small woman in a faded grey habit sits alone at a small table with a wooden cup of water and a piece of bread. Her face is weathered in the way of someone who has walked the roads for a long time. I am on my way to the monastery to deliver something for a sister who is too ill to travel. Ah, sister, what news on the road? Vanderput, the customs officer, was beaten by men he did not see. He thinks he knows who paid them. Is there anything else we can learn from her? No. Thomas is out cold. We'll talk to Father Brun a bit. An old man with white hair and a stained apron stops stirring a pot to peer at you. He cups one hand near his ear. Hey? Come in. Come in. You hungry? You look hungry. Hey, sit. The stew is hot. Let's keep talking. Nope, nothing new. Ask if there's any news. No. Well, Thomas has drunk himself out cold. We could try talk to him when he sobers up. Or just leave and go to the fish market instead. We clearly require more food. Can we sell? What would you like to buy or sell? Sell these 2 clubs. Arguably they're better than the stick we had, but on the scale the game gives us, they are essentially the same. These are very fanciful fine items, however with 24, let's go get lots of food. That has shifted our honour or renown. And leave this place. And wow, we're back on the road. The abandoned monastery is deadly. Great. Half collapsed and overgrown, the old monastery broods on a hill east of the river. Locals say it is cursed. The squatters inside encourage this rumour. Whatever is in there, it is not left by monks who wanted it found. It was not left. We could travel there, that feels very unwise. We could go to Maastricht. A prosperous town on the Meuse, smaller than Liege, but richer per head and keenly aware of it. The Duke of Brabant's influence is strong here, not the bishop's. Guild halls line cobbled streets. The merchants dress better, the walls are thicker, and the city guard will encourage you to leave if you look too poor. Well, we don't have that kind of money, do we? So... can we get from the farmlands to... let's go to the farmlands then. Oh, okay, we get a question mark. A body lies half in the ditch, one arm bent beneath it awkwardly. Beside the dead hand sits a single coin in plain sight. You think at once, if it mattered, someone would have taken it already. You think this a little too quickly. You take the coin, leave it and move on. Search for body 2. I don't know if this will roll highest person's luck, or first person in the list, or an average. The corpse shifts under your hand, more than a corpse should. It is only trapped cloth and settling bones, but your heart does not care. Ooh. A cow is loose in the cabbages. 2 children are chasing it. Badly. To the fields, then! That's an unusual way of spelling Gerard, but I'll go with it. Gerard the smallholder is here, apparently. A wiry old farmer in a sun-dark tunic looks you over without expression. He has a pruning hook in one hand. He does not put it down. We can hunt rabbits. We can work a shift. 1 of 3. We could try and do some work here. Will the local farmers chase us off and go, you bastards, stop doing our job? We're not going to get paid now. We got 2 deniers. Let's end the day. Will that 1 of 3 refresh if we leave the area and come back in a few days' time? Hard to say. A dirt track connecting scattered farmsteads. Merchants, pilgrims, and less welcome travellers pass through here. We could rob a traveller. Let's not do that, because we might get beaten up, and we're in enough trouble at the moment as it is. Let's leave the farmlands. Tongeren. The oldest town in the Low Countries, or so they claim. Roman walls crumble beside Flemish houses. The weekly market draws farmers from miles around. The locals speak a dialect you can barely follow and overcharge you for bread. Well, let's go here anyway. A cloth merchant has arranged his stall like he expects a duke, not road filth. The moment you pause, he claims you owe him for breathing near premium linen. His apprentice nods like this makes sense. So this obviously reminds me of the Mullah Nasruddin, who was walking through the market past a pie stall, and the merchant said, You're smelling the glorious, beautiful smell of my pies. You should pay for enjoying the smell of my pies. As Nasrudin stood there, smelling the air and sniffing. And Nasrudin took up his money pouch, shook it by the merchant's ear and said, I'm paying for the smell of your pies with the sound of my money. And didn't give the merchant a coin. So, let's argue that air belongs to God, not the merchant. He outshouts you, gathers a crowd, and turns it into an unpaid nuisance fee. To avoid a watchman, you pay and leave while he lectures about moral debt. Pay what we don't have. Okay. The basilica bells are rung by a new man this week. He's off for Riven. So there's the Roman market, the old basilica, the town centre, or the tavern. I want to see if we can pick up a third person before we start taking on great dangers. Marguerite is somewhere behind the kitchen door. Something smells like bread. Okay. Lisbeth the Younger. A young woman in a working apron looks up from behind the bar. There are old men at most of the tables, and she has the air of someone who has spent the day being underestimated. The basilica is 2 streets away. You can hear the bells if you listen. Let's keep talking. Nope. Any news, fair lady? No. We have old Cornelis. An old man in well-kept clothes sits at the corner table watching everyone who enters. He has thin, white hair and again looks a bit like a famous actor. I want to say maybe John Hurt, but I originally thought of someone else first. He has thin, white hair, sharp, small eyes, and a wooden cane propped up against the wall. My father served the bishop's seneschal. So did I for a time. There is a continuity to such things. Indeed, inherited. Anything else? Nope. Any news? No. Peter. Okay, I think they're using a lot of famous faces as the basis for so many of these portraits. A weathered man in pilgrim's robes sits alone at a small table, eating slowly and reading from a small book. He looks up at you with calm, pale eyes and nods. I will walk to a monastery near here, and then to Tonger's, and then somewhere I haven't decided. The Lord will tell me. What fine things have you seen upon the road, Peter? The bishop's seneschal has been in Tongeren twice this month. He never used to come at all. How would a pilgrim know this? He's passing through, he's transient. He must have heard rumours. Like, the bishop's seneschal arrived a few days ago, and all the local gossip was, oh, this is the second time he's come this month. Let's keep talking, see if he tells us any more. Nope. And a barmaid called had a witch. If they had a witch in this place, you'd be concerned. A young woman you don't recognise is working the back tables tonight. She catches your eye as you sit down and gives you a small, careful smile. The half keeps trying to die. I keep telling it not to. Alright, well, keep talking. I work 3 nights a week. The keeper pays in copper and cheap stew, but it's honest work. Fair enough, we'll leave her be. And see if we can find anyone to join our esteemed established company. Oh. Mathilde the Short. A failed monk. I mean, she's called Mathilde, so of course she failed to become a monk. She could have become a nun. Ludgard the Tall, blacksmith's apprentice. They both want money that we don't have. So we're done here. We'll check out the market. Many things we cannot afford. Oh, bandages and rope and torches would be good. Torches would be really good if we're going to an old ruin. We'll leave Tongeren. The map seems to be self-contained. This is the entire area, so we have to go back to the farmlands, I believe. Oh no. We could head to Maastricht, where it's wealthy, and we can't afford to hire people. Back to the farmlands then. We're going to run out of money and starve to death. A merchant sits by his overturned cart, cursing. Crates of goods are scattered across the road. He sees you and waves frantically. Let's help him right his cart. You strain, but the cart barely moves. The merchant sighs. Thanks for trying. He gives you a few deniers anyway. Excellent, we can buy some food. A beekeeper in a patched veil stands beside toppled hives, blaming a passing boy, the west wind, and perhaps heresy. Bees drift thick in the air, offended by everything. The smell is sweet wax and bruised clover. We don't necessarily want to get stung. We could ask to buy some cheap damaged honey. Oh, we could try and help a bit. Set the hives upright. You jar one hive badly, and the air turns hostile at once. Stings drive you off in tears. Let's see if we can work the fields again. It does reset. Excellent. Turning a furrow, you uncover something hard. A small iron crucifix, blackened with age. Not a Roman thing. Older. Medieval, maybe. Roman's older than medieval. I mean, if you mean like, oh, Roman Catholic, that's still medieval. That is weird. But there's no comma after older, so older medieval. We'll give it to Gerard. Hide it, certain town, bury it again. We'll give it to him because he owns the farm and he might treat us a bit nicer in future. He turns it in his hands like a memory. My grandmother's, I think. Or my mother's. I haven't seen this in 50 years. Hoeing, pulling, hauling, your back will speak of this for days. Gerard pays you for from a small clay jar. We got 5 deniers. Good stuff. Working here, we seem to be getting food and drink. So let's do the full 3 days. Gerard is in the same field as last time, hoeing the same row. He pauses when he sees you. Back. You've done your work for the day. Rest for the night before you can take another full shift. Okay. We can talk. My wife's been gone 15 winters. I still set her place at the table sometimes. Old habits. So we need to camp if we want to... Is that going to... That will mess our food up. Well, we'll work a day in the field. We got 9 deniers. Oh, well, in that case, it would be lovely to stick around and work a 3rd day, but then we wouldn't be able to travel anywhere. So we'll end the day, leave the farmlands. Small town, food may be more affordable. We'll go back to Weiss. Where we will head to the fish market and purchase some more food. Let's go bulk. That torch is very tempting. Let's leave. That wound is a nuisance. So I think we're just he'll be going into battle never at full health, essentially. If we go to the city, are we likely to find work there? We can go to the farms, work a couple of days. Into Tongeren. Okay, let's try that. We'll go back to the farm. And get a question mark. A folded letter lies half trampled in the road. The wax seal still mostly intact. The seal is for bishops. Whoever lost it recently. The parchment is dry at the corners but wet in the fold. There is nobody in sight in either direction. We could read it, no. Pocket it sealed. Walk to Liege. The commune will pay for it. Walk to Maastricht. Return it to the bishop's men. Sure. You walk to Maastricht, which doesn't seem to take up any of our food. Do we arrive there afterwards, or do we come back to this place again? At the bishop's hall, a captain takes the letter, breaks the seal himself, reads and looks at you a long time before he speaks. You did right to bring it. There are men in this city who would not have. You will be remembered. He gives you 30 deniers. He also asks your name, which he writes down in a small ledger. You leave the hall wondering whether being remembered by the bishop's men is the kind of remembering you want. And then somehow magically continue our journey to the farmlands. I suppose there's no memory in the game to allow us to take the thing ourselves and then get the result when we arrive there. We'll go to the fields. Gerard wants a word, apparently. Gerard cleans his hands on his shirt and sits down on the cart tongue beside you. He is quiet a long time before he speaks. Marika, my eldest. She is 16. She's been walking out with a soldier from Maastricht. His name was Walram. He marched his for the bishop's muster in 2 weeks. He pulls at a piece of straw. I do not hate him. He's not a bad boy. He is poor and he's a soldier, and that is 2 things a father does not love about a man who would take his daughter. She wants to marry him before he goes. She wants to follow him to Maastricht and live in a soldier's tent. She does not understand what a soldier's tent is. I am her father. She no longer hears me. Will you talk to him or to her and tell him what a soldier's tent is? If they hear it from a stranger, perhaps it will hear different. Yeah, if she wants to be a camp follower, that could lead to her being taken advantage of by other soldiers. Let's talk to him. Gerard lets out a long breath he has been holding. Walram is at the muster yard in Maastricht most days. Marika is here at the farm most days. Either is fine. I do not want her fight. I want her to wait. 6 months. A year. Long enough that she sees who Walram is when he comes back, or doesn't. Let's step back. Walk to the farmhouse and speak to Marika. The farmhouse is small and clean. Marika is 16, dark-eyed, half-laughing as she comes to the door, wiping her hands. The laugh dies a little when she sees you. My father sent you. It's not a question. You can speak to her directly here, say what Gerard would say if he could. Or you can ride to Maastricht and find Walram at the muster tent and speak to him instead. Soldier to traveller. Or you can leave the whole business alone and tell Gerard the truth. But you would not interfere either. We can speak to her honestly. Use our wits to go to Maastricht and speak to Walram. I think this won't work. I think we need to go talk to the soldier, really. Let's give it a try. You find Walram at the muster yard, sharpening a knife. He is 19 and serious. You tell him not as Marika's friend, not as her father's friend, but as a man who has walked roads that the boys who marry the week before the march come home to widows. He listens. He does not argue. He asks you what you would do. You say, ask her to wait. Tell her you would rather have her at 16 and yourself at 20 than have her at 16 and yourself dead. He looks at his hands. He nods. A week later, Marika tells her father the wedding is on hold. We could tell him what we found in the farmhouse. Shouldn't this be a week later? Oh well. Gerard hears you. He sits down on a hay bale and stays there a while. When he stands, his face is set. 6 months. He listened. The boy listened. He puts 25 deniers in your hand. There is good cheese in the cellar. I'll give you a wheel of it before you go. Whatever else happens, I owe you a winter's good meals. But step away, but work a day. Small iron crucifix belongs to him. Give it to him. Get a bit of extra pay. Then we'll leave the farmlands and go to Tongeren. Uh-oh. A body turns slowly on a crossroads gibbet. A warning. The bishop's justice spelled out in rope. Beneath it, a gaunt man saws quietly at the cord of a belt knife, meaning to take the dead one down for the ground. For the ground implies he's going to go bury him. He freezes when he sees you, knife still raised, measuring what you will do. We can hold the body still while he cuts it down. Steal the dead man's boots first. We'll leave him to his grim work. We're not sure we approve of him stealing this corpse. We don't know how long it's been on display. People should see that justice is being done. Not your dead, not your rope, not your risk. You leave the gaunt man to his sawing and the gibbet to its slow turning, and you do not look back to see it finished. In Tongeren, let's head to the tavern and look for recruits. Engelbert the Wanderer, a deserter. Don't ask about the uniform. I took it off a dead man. Fine, I took it off a sleeping man. He's pretty dim, but good in a fight. We will need to buy more food though, and he'll probably need a weapon. We have a new member of our company. Let's check the market. We need food. Goodness, we need food. And with our remaining 10 deniers, we can't even buy him a weapon. But that's okay. Let's leave Tongeren. Yolande the Liar fights pretty well without one. Whereas Engelbert the Wanderer won't let me select him. Oh, there we go. And we can give him the club. And now we have a strong man who can fight. Let's go back to the farmlands again. You spot them only because one helmet catches the light. 2 Brabant soldiers above the road. A third below, chewing cold meat. Their faces have the mean boredom of men who would start trouble and call it duty. Trade them rumours for safe passage, or keep your head down and pass quietly. Hope they don't call up the fact we got a deserter in our company. Oh! Well, let's try and intimidate somebody. 3 versus 2. You are for numbers. Swords don't care about fairness, but it helps. And they don't seem to be that heavily equipped. Yes, let's try and wound one. Intimidation. I don't know if I'm selecting a target here for everyone or one person, but he's hurt already. Jose the Hungry. Choose a target. Smack him. Big bad wound. They surrender. The Brabant scout drops his weapon, calling out, "Mercy, please!" We'll let him go. You lower your weapons. They scramble away without looking back, and 2 of us didn't even have to fight. We'll take the money, take the club so we have a backup weapon. I want to work a day in the fields. Oh, wait. Yes. We'll work a shift. Get some money. 16 up from... I think that's because there's 3 of us working, hopefully. End the day. Leave. Head to Weisse, where we intend to purchase more food. A small stone shrine to the Virgin Mary stands at a crossroads. Flowers and coins have been left by travellers. The paint is faded, but someone tends it. Let's leave a couple of coins and pray. You kneel briefly. Whether God hears or not, you feel calmer. The road ahead seems less threatening. Uh-oh. A well-dressed man waves you over with great urgency and no dignity whatsoever. He is sweating far more than the grey morning calls for, and he is standing the way a man stands when standing is the problem. Weight shifting from one leg to the other, never quite settling, a small wince riding each change. You have an honest face. A discreet face. Stefan Janzun, by his own hurried introduction. I require a surgeon. A quiet one. The physicians in this town have mouths like market bells, and what ails a man is the business of that man alone. Sounds like he's got diarrhea or constipation. You ask reasonably what ails him. His face goes deep red with a deep red of a brick left in a kiln. It is... He resettles his weight. Winces. It is a matter of the lower provinces. I will say no more. I will pay, and pay well, for someone to walk me somewhere quiet and ask me precisely nothing. We could have Marty knows what's going on. Let's try and escort him discreetly to a surgeon. You lose patience halfway and ask pointedly what exactly is wrong. Stefan turns purple, hisses that you are a boor, and flees into the crowd. He does not pay. Shame. So we need to hit up the market and buy some food. But we have some money left. So I'm going to take a torch and sell a spare club. Now, where does the torch go? In the special. Right. We are headed to the abandoned monastery to end the episode, because it'll be interesting. Free food for monastery, free back to Weisse, and then hopefully we'll be able to purchase a little more. Half collapsed and overgrown, the old monastery broods on a hill east of the river. Locals say it is cursed. The squatters inside encourage this rumour. Whatever is in there, it was not left by monks who wanted it found. 2 men step out of the tree line. A third appears behind you. Clubs and the looks of people who stopped caring about consequences a long time ago. Coins. Food. Whatever you have, says the tallest. or we take it off your body. Makes no difference to us. Let's try talk him down. Will we just get wounded or robbed if we fail, or just go to a fight? I think we go to a fight. What the hell? Alright. So the tall bandit, the scarred bandit, the young bandit. We have strength and toughness. He's got the lowest toughness. We will attempt to intimidate the young bandit. That worked. Uh-oh. Oh, she just attacked without our... So do we not control our allies? In which case we might have a main character. Yolande the Liar took him out without a weapon. And he goes for... Or is it front against front, middle against middle, back against back? That they automatically attack positions. Engelbert clips the tall bandit's shoulder. Annoying, but not dangerous. Okay. Whereas he... Ow! Clumps us one. And he does a bit of damage. Okay. So we fight on. We're currently 1 up. If we can take this lad out of the fight, that evens things significantly, but Jose the Hungry is in danger. Hey, his club isn't showing on his... Okay. Their fighter falls. The survivors throw down their weapons. We could rob them or let them go. I say we rob them, actually, in this case. You take everything they have. 15 deniers. They slink away, hating you. And if we meet them again, we may be in a really hard time. Okay, we'll take the club and arrive at the abandoned monastery. A cat sleeps on the chapel wall. It does not move when you approach. Well, the chapel is on the other side of the courtyard, so we will explore the courtyard first. Weeds push through cracked flagstones. A well sits in the centre, its rope long rotted. Someone has been here recently. There are fresh ashes. The crypt, we could go there to rob it or see if it's been robbed. Let's enter the chapel. The roof is half gone. Rain has ruined the frescoes, but the altar is intact and something glints beneath it. Let us search for relics. Behind a loose stone beneath the altar you find a small wooden box. It feels heavy. Let's open it. Oh! Inside, a small silver reliquary. Tarnished but valuable. Worth a fortune to the right buyers. And the right buyers we have found. We'll check the crypt, then I think head back and buy some more food. Stone steps descend into darkness. Cold air rises from below, carrying a smell of earth and something else. This is a terrible idea. We will not rob graves. We delivered a valuable, important letter to the bishop's men recently. It would not do to commit an act of sacrilege. Others have camped here in the courtyard. It probably might not be wise to stay. Let's just leave the monastery and head back to Weisse. How do we heal this critical injury? Do we need the bandage to do it? Do we equip a bandage to do it? Well, let's travel there and find out. There's a marketplace. Dark clouds gather fast. Rain is coming. Heavy rain. You can see a barn off the road or you can push through. Let's shelter in the barn. You wait out the storm. Dry and rested, but it costs time. The barn smells of old hay and animal history, and we use up some food while we're at it. What's this? A young man crawls out of the brush, bloody at the shoulder. Now, I think I tried to click on the thing in time. I think we might have an option to continue our journey or click on the thing when we get an encounter like this. The bishops... Right, hang on. A young man crawls out of the brush, bloody at the shoulder. The bishop's red and white. He sees you and lifts one hand, the other pressed to his side. Herr Togenwald, he whispers. 3 of them. They took the horse, found the pouch. I made it this far. We don't have any bandages. Tear rags from our own clothes. Send him on alone. You tear rags. You bind him. The blood does not stop coming. You sit with him for half an hour and watch him go grey. At some point he stops speaking. You bury him in the brush as best you can, and you carry his ribbon of red silk and the broken seal of the bishop's pouch. Both might be worth something. Both might be a problem. Well, we need food. We need a lot of food. We may be able to afford a hatchet. To attack weight 3. Madder. Madder is a plant-based dye. So I think we're indicating the colour. I think madder does make red. Leather armour. So proper protection. Let's get some bandages. Sell that club. Go to the inn, see if we can pick up another member of our company. 73 deniers is a lot for a thief. And an extra mouth to feed. 5 food heals. Oh, yeah, I was going to get bandages, wasn't I? Let's get more bandages. Leave town. Use a bandage. Takes him back up to wounded. Excellent. Well, you know what? I think we've had a nice fun little adventure so far, and I'll leave it there. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think. If you fancy seeing more of this game, let me know in the comment section down below. All the usual stuff, you know. But for now, I'll say goodbye and see you all soon, everyone. Cheerio.